Hello my young friends, I hope you are doing well. My name is Sudhir and you're watching Study with Sudhir, right? The ICSE Council held an important virtual meeting on Friday morning. Okay, so these are exclusive details from that meeting which was attended by Gary Arathon, who is the Chief Executive and Secretary of the Council, as well as many school principals. Okay, what transpired at the meeting, right? So let's listen in. At the meeting, schools were clearly told not to interfere or force a decision on the schools. Of course, this was already given in writing on their website by the council, but many schools have not really been paying heed. They're still going ahead and saying you need to choose option 1 or you need to choose option 2. Okay, so the council making it clear once again that the decision must be made by the students in consultation with their parents, not by the school. The related point that has come to the council's notice is that many students are actually choosing to keep quiet, not exercise either of the two options, right? Not choosing whether to appear for the examination, not choosing whether to skip the examination, thinking that maybe that's a better approach. So the council has advised the principals that they need to communicate to those students that option has to be exercised, 1 or 2. You cannot remain neutral. Point number 3. This is important because the principals were briefed about the methodology which is being worked, because the principals were asked for the pre-board marks of the students who passed out from their school in 2019. So the students of the 2018-19 batch of both class 10 and 12, the pre-board marks were asked for, and the deadline to send them or upload them on the council's website portal was 10 AM on Friday. Now, this meeting took place at 11 o'clock. Now, basically, this was to verify how logical it would be to rely on pre-board marks, because the pre-board marks of the present batch has already been asked for. That deadline was the 14th of June, as you are aware of. So the council communicated it to principals that they are working out whether there is some kind of a uniform increase in the marks. 1. Whether mathematically it is possible to arrive at a formula to conclude that a majority of the students find their board exam marks increasing by a certain percentage or percentage in a certain band, and whether that formula will be fair to everyone. So the principals were told that the process of working out this formula and testing whether this formula is actually working is being undertaken within the council, right, by various academicians as well as by data analysts. And when that formula will be arrived at, it will then be tallied by what I call a dipstick sample, right? Now, which essentially means, what does this dipstick sample mean? It means that you randomly pull up some student's marks, both his or her pre-board marks, this I am talking about the 2019 batch, the pre-board marks as well as the final marks that the student secured. Check how much they got in the pre-board marks and check their board marks. In between, you apply this formula to check whether the formula is also more or less tallying with the final board marks that the students secured, right? So whether the formula is actually working well, subject to a minor percentage correction that would obviously be there. Even in psephology, we always say, that X candidate will win by so many votes. There is always that 3% margin of error that we talk about. So similarly here, there will always be a margin of error, but within that margin, whether that formula is working well. Understood? Do you want me to tell you with an example? Suppose one student, they see that, okay, somebody has scored 80% in the pre-board examination marks. Then they apply the formula. The formula tells that he should, according to this formula, he should go up to 86% in the final examination. Then they check how much that same student scored in the 2019 final board examination. They found that he scored about 87%. That means that the formula has worked well. By chance, they find that that student actually did not score 87%, but instead he scored about 95%. That means that the formula has a bit of a problem. Okay, and this they will do it for many students, not just 1 or 2 students. This sample size will be significantly large. Okay. I'll tell you another reason why this is very important to do, because the council, the ICSE Council is very conscious of the fact that a student who secured say 75 on 80, more or less 74, 75, 76 in that range, in say the quarterly exam in September, October, the half yearly exam in December, the pre-boards 1, the pre-boards 2 in the month of Jan and Feb, may find his marks moving up from 75 on 80 to say about 78 on 80 according to this formula that may be employed by the council, right? But another student who may have got 60 on 80 in the same 4 examinations, quarterly, half yearly, pre-board 1, pre-board 2, that student's marks may go up to 70 on 80. So what happens is that in percentage terms, the second student has gained much more than the first student. You understood the difference? In percentage terms, his rise will be much more than the rise of the first student. Because वो 3 इडियट्स का डायलॉग याद है ना कि जब आपका अच्छा दोस्त फेल हो जाता है तो दुख होता है, लेकिन जब आपका अच्छा दोस्त फर्स्ट आता है तो ज्यादा दुख होता है. तो you know, the psychology of the students is also understood well by the educators. So they want to ensure that the system is as foolproof and honest as possible to the amount of hard work put in by different students. Okay. What is certain? Point number 5. What is certain, and this is what was said at that meeting, is that if you got 50 on 80, let's say for example, or let's say 55 on 80 in a particular subject in the pre-boards, let's say biology, which has not yet been conducted, you can be rest assured that that 55 on 80 will certainly increase by a certain number of marks. It's not likely to be less than 55 on 80. The council is conscious of the fact that by the time the board exams come, most students, 9 out of 10 students generally do much better than what they did in the pre-board examination for a variety of reasons. The momentum is there, they work more hard, the focus is better, the question paper generally speaking in the board examinations is simpler than compared to the pre-board examinations. The marking also in the pre-boards is generally seen to be a little more strict by the teachers in the school, right? So you can definitely expect a hike, but how much that hike will be will depend also on what was the general increase that happened with students, especially the 2019 batch. And that calculation, as I said, is being fine-tuned right now as I speak. During the meeting, it was also conveyed that as on Friday, yesterday on Friday, the cancellation of the exams is not being discussed as an option. But, and listen to this carefully, option 2 is being fine-tuned, discussed in great detail, because in case the examinations are not conducted, as the council has already informed the Bombay High Court, the council wants to ensure that it has worked out a robust and a good methodology by which to mark the students, right? So here also I can tell you another thing, that whatever is the decision taken by the CBSE in connection with their board examinations, right, which are also to take place in the month of July, will definitely impact the conduct of the ICSE examinations. That is something which you can take for granted. Okay, so that is as far as the ICSE meeting which was conducted. The Bombay High Court had said if your methodology is ready by Saturday, that is the 20th of June, that's today, please put it on your website so that students and parents and teachers can have a look at it, debate, and accordingly come to an informed decision. But in case if your methodology is not ready by Saturday, please come to the court on Monday, inform us so that everyone can discuss it and then a final decision can be taken. So that is as far as the legal position is concerned. So I hope this makes the position a little clear as to what the council is thinking, because you need to know, you as the stakeholders definitely need to know what is the council thinking. Okay, thank you very much for watching. God bless you.